Welcome again to Morning Devotion, and thank you for our time together. I want us to come to the book of Luke chapter 16 today, beginning with verse 10. Jesus says, "One who is faithful in a very little," not just a little, a very little, "is also faithful in much. And one who is dishonest in a very little is also dishonest in much. If then you have not been faithful in unrighteous wealth, who will entrust you with true riches? And if you have not been faithful in that which is another's, who will give you that which is of your own? No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money." Jesus gives us four principles of stewardship. Four principles of stewardship. The first is a principle of leadership in stewardship. He said, listen, whatever they do in the micro, they will do in the macro. Faithful in very little, faithful in much. Unfaithful in very little, unfaithful in much. You do not have to keep experimenting with people and keep giving them opportunities or keep giving them, as we say, chances. If they're unfaithful in little, they will be unfaithful in much. The responsibility size does not change the character of the heart. Let me say that again. The size of the responsibility does not change the character of their heart. So Jesus said, look at the micro, and then you will understand the macro before you ever get there and hurt yourself worse. Sometimes I call this learning your lessons with people small before you have to experience them big. The second principle is a principle of giving and stewardship. If you have not been faithful in unrighteous wealth, who will trust you with true riches? If you refuse to be a tither, if you refuse to be a giver, if you are a stingy, greedy person, God said, listen, that's going to affect the spiritual revelation that comes to you, because true riches are spiritual revelations. Now, you show me people that are generous. You show me people that are tithers, and I'll show you people that can, they're like sponges. They can learn the Word of God so easily and so well. But you show me people that refuse to be tithers. They got an attitude about it. They refuse to be generous givers. I'll show you people that are very hard to teach, because God can't trust them with the true spiritual riches, because they can't even be faithful with the riches of this world. The third principle, he said, and if you have not been faithful with that which is another's, who will give you that which is of your own? Now here's a principle of God's blessings. If you don't take care of something that you're using that belongs to somebody else, don't expect God to give you your own. If you tear up the condominium or tear up the house that you're renting, you let the kids write all over the walls, you destroy the toilets, and then you're asking God to give you your own house? You know, I was sitting on a bus one day years ago back in the 80s, and there was a kid who had a pencil, and he was ramming it like this in and out of the vinyl on the seat. And I looked at the parent and I said, are you asking God to give you a car? And they said, yes, we're asking God, we're praying for God to give us a car. I said, God won't do it. She said, why? I said, because look at how you allow your son to destroy the property of other people. If you're not faithful to what belongs to somebody else, God will not give you that which belongs to you. The fourth principle is a principle of the attitude of the heart. You have to choose who you're going to love and who you're going to be devoted to in life. Either you're going to chase money or you're going to chase God. Either you're going to be devoted to God or you're going to be devoted to money. And there are many Christians today, they say they love God and they show up in church on Sunday, but if there's a decision to make of which one to be devoted to and which one to think little of, and that's all despise means, is to think little of. You think in a small way about it. Every time you prioritize money over God, you're showing the attitude of your heart. Now, brothers and sisters, God will bless you. God will prosper you. But you cannot serve God and money.